Welcome everybody to the digital world. I'm Lewis along with Dent and Lindsey and Brandon. And I think everybody can say safely that after the year we had last year, live music is something that all of us would agree that we probably want back in our lives. And from the national touring scene, we're starting to see some names leak out about people that are going on the road. But for the most part, most of the artists are still tending to push that towards August, September, October, and later in the year. But that doesn't mean that there's not live music out there for all of us to kind of go and be a part of, which is why Brandon is here, because you are going to tell us all about Summer Bash Indiana and how it started, where it's going, and how we can all be a part of it.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me and helping us support this thing. Summer Bash started back in 2013 in my front yard. Actually, we threw a party. I bought a house with some land. I wanted to throw a party. We called it Summer Bash. We bought a keg of beer, rented a stereo from Rent-A-Center, invited 20 or 30 friends. Everybody passed out in the yard. It was great. And then in 16, we brought it back and we hauled a lawnmower trailer into the yard. And we had a couple solo acts. We figured if we're gonna have music, we might as well have live music. So just a couple guys with guitars and that was fun. And then in 17 and 18 is when it all changed and we started adding more bands and we rented out an entire campground and started selling tickets. And then in 19, we decided that we needed to become legit. So we started JPW Entertainment. It's an LLC doing business as Summer Bash Indiana. And this year we're doing it at the Water Bowl up in Muncie. And we have 2 stages, 21 bands, presented by Bud Light and sponsored by Rock Rage Radio. So we got local bands. We got bands coming from Washington to Texas to Florida to New York, the Carolinas, Michigan, Ohio, Illinois, Kentucky. So yeah, man. So everything's at summerbashindiana.com and tickets are already on sale. And they're $80 a person. And the cool part about Summer Bash is we always wanted to keep it as that backyard feel. So we take care of the taxes and fees. And on Saturday, we provide all the food, beer, pop, water that you can handle. It's all part of your ticket. So for $80 out the door, you get 2 nights of camping, 21 live bands. And then on Saturday, all the hamburgers and hot dogs you can eat, all the Bud Light beer, water, and pop you can drink, and a beach with volleyball and swimsuits and boats, and it's gonna be awesome, man. So you can't beat the value. I mean, for $80 out the door, and like I said, so when you you buy a ticket, when you swipe your card, it's $80. There's no service fees, no taxes to the consumer or nothing like that. We pay all the taxes and fees.
That's
so yeah.
So camping style, what is that gonna look like with everybody camping?
This year it is 100% primitive. It's primitive camping. So we have showers and restrooms, but no power or water to the campsites. So it's going to be generators or just roughing it in the woods for 2 days. So
awesome.
Yeah. Picture for us when people aren't watching some of the bands play, what are some of the activities and things that people tend to get into at this?
Oh man, over the years, you got the typical guys that play cornhole. We do life-size beer pong where we have the half-gallon buckets and racket balls. So guys are playing beer pong. We've done beach volleyball. And I don't know, this year's a new venue. So there's all kinds of other things like the lake and the beach add a whole different element to it. So we're excited to see how that plays out. So, usually people just sit around their campfires and drink until the music starts.
Sure.
Since there's this many bands in 2 days, what different types of bands are out there as far as genres of music for people? Is there something for everybody, or is it all, pretty much in the same vein?
It's pretty much rock and roll, man. We got some local bands out there. We got Sins of Calvary from the South Side, and we got Losing September that's from Muncie. They're both on the bill. But it's pretty much going to be, it's rock and roll, man. And then Friday night, we only run 3 bands Friday night, and then we're running 17 on Saturday, and 2 stages on Saturday. But Friday night, our headliners Glam America. So they're an 80s cover party glam metal band. And we throw a couple locals out there in front of them, and then they close Friday night out. It's just one giant party. And then Saturday's the actual main event where there's, like I said, 17 bands, 2 stages. It's just all rock and roll, man. It's going to be a good time. I'm excited to see the lineup for sure. So
as this thing has grown, how have you been able to select bands? Now that you have bands coming not only from Indiana, but from all over, you got to narrow it down to, hey, we're going to pick these bands and these are going to be the bands for our thing. How do you choose?
Our main headliner for the main stage Saturday night's a band out of Detroit, Michigan called the Native Howl. They will now, this will be their 5th year headlining the show. We just bring, every year they're willing to come back, we bring them back. But really, man, it's just we sit down as a group and just listen to music, and we pick the bands that we want to pick. I mean, there's not really a method to it, although it's starting to get to the point where we're going to have to, we're just getting flooded with bands now. And then the entire second stage was Rock Rage Radio. So they've provided every band for the second stage, and that's where most of the bands from across the country are coming from. Okay. Is Curtain Call Records and Rock Rage Radio. So, but yeah, man, and it's just bands that we've seen online and or happened to catch live that were opening for another band, or bands that people have been like, hey, you need to check these guys out. And we try and keep it. We really, we tossed around this year about getting a big regional. And we just want to keep it independent bands, man. That's kind of the big thing with it is, we could have went and got this band or whatever, but at the end of the day, we just wanted to keep it for the guys that are really out there working hard and trying to get their music out there and, selling t-shirts for gas money and things like that, and wanting to get them exposure. And I mean, last year with COVID, man, we capped our head count at 250, which is what we were allowed to do. We bought 25 gallons of moonshine smelling hand sanitizer, and we put hand sanitizer stations all over the park. We bought hand washing stations that filled with water and soap and left those all over the park. I bought 500 masks out of my own pocket, and we were handing them out at the door. So the cool part about being an outdoor event, and the other thing we did was we handed out, as people came in, we said, are you concerned about social distancing? Because it is a music festival. And the people that said yes, we put a red wristband on them. So if you're walking through the park or through the campground, and you see somebody with a red wristband, you respect the fact that they don't, want to be close. And that's the cool part about it. So for the people that are still concerned, you can come to this thing and stay in your own bubble and never get within 10 feet of somebody and still be able to enjoy the show. And that's the cool part about doing it outside. So we're excited about that. Our COVID, last year we had, like I said, 250 people in the bands, and not one person to my knowledge got sick. So we did it right. And that's cool. We got a guy that has been with us since day one. He is a COVID, expert in our little circle. So he really dialed us in and helped us get through that. And, we're going to offer the same things this year. We'll have the hand sanitizer and the hand washing stations and the masks, and, but it's cool because, like I said, you can come and not get within 10 feet of somebody and still enjoy the day. So it's a pretty cool gig.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's way cool that you're doing it like that. I have to say, when you said the moonshine, you paused for a second and then went with hand sanitizer. And I think we all just, okay.
Every time I poured it on my hands, I was like, woo, man, it smelled like I was 21 again.
I think moonshine pretty much is hand sanitizer, so it's fine. But
Right.
Anytime I've been at music festivals that have like this camping style, one of the cool things about it is that you don't know who's there with you. Like, some of the artists stay and camp too. So after everybody's kind of trying to go to bed, you might just have like a bonfire with the artists sitting there playing, and you had no idea that they were even sticking around. Have you experienced that too?
We did. One of the coolest things was at the old place, there was a little off island, but it was about 2:30 in the morning and I was trying to sleep and I heard something. So I hop on the golf cart and there's a campfire going with about 80 people around it and a guitar player from 4 different bands all jamming the same song. Never met each other, didn't know each other, jammed for probably an hour and a half around a campfire after an all-day music festival. And that's the cool part about Summer Bash is we've been told it's like going to a family reunion that you actually enjoy going to. It's cool because, you know, you like you said, you don't know everybody. So like last year you camped right next to people from Ohio, and you know that when you come next year, you're going to try, maybe you haven't talked all year, you know, and you're going to show up to Summer Bash next year and be like, oh dude, yeah, we hung out with you last year. And then it's just right back to, you know, partying with each other again. And then you say goodbye on Sunday. And then, and it's happened. We got a couple of different pockets of people from all over the country that every year they're like, we're coming to Summer Bash to hang out with these guys. And last year, even with COVID, we had people from, or no, sorry, it was the year before COVID. So 2019, we had people from 11 different states that bought tickets to the bash. So
That's awesome.
yeah, it was pretty cool. So
I think it's cool just for the fact that until everything is 100% open again, I think last summer, the one thing that was so weird was just not hearing live music anywhere. Like, not even if it was a band, like I will say, even if it was a band you didn't like, if just there was a band on the stage and they were playing music, you would be like, oh, thank God I missed this. And I think that's the thing, you know, this year. I hope that when everybody does start going to shows again, that local bands and smaller bands start getting more attention. There's a bigger appreciation for the fact that, man, thank you guys for playing, just because it's been so long since I've heard a band play live. You know, it's good to see people out there. So I think it's a really cool thing that, you know, get a little exposure, and who doesn't like a campfire, a cold beer, and some live music?
right. And like I said, for the value, I mean, you know, we don't really, I mean, I'm going to put it out there, man. We really don't make money on it. Last year, we sold some t-shirts and some bags of ice. And for a year's worth of work and promoting a festival, I walked away with $330 in my pocket. And it came from t-shirt sales and bags of ice. So, I mean, we don't do it for the profit as much as we do it for the party itself. And I think that's what makes it special to us. And that's what makes it special to the people that are coming. Because a lot of times you go to a music festival and you have to pay for your campsite. You have to pay for your ticket. You got to pay $25 to park. You got to pay for a pass to go and leave and come back. You got to buy your food. You got to buy your beer, you know. So we take care of all that. And that's what makes it, you know, we say we're Summer Bash, Indiana. We are Indiana's all-inclusive music festival. One price, you get everything except band merch. I can't give you band merch. Those guys will kill me. So that's about the only thing you have to bring cash money for, is to support these bands and buy their merch. And we don't take a cut. We don't take any cut of the band's merch. Whatever they sell, they leave with 100%. We don't, yeah. So, I mean, that's the coolest part about the bash, is it is, you know, it's all inclusive, man. You buy one ticket, you don't pay ticket taxes or fees. And, you know, for a weekend, you know, for a couple to enjoy a weekend music festival for $160 out the door, I don't know where you're going to beat it.
Right.
So.
Well, yeah. I mean, and it's been the case with so many people. I have a turkey. I'm sorry, my turkey is making noises. I'm so sorry.
I love it.
I'm editing this out. It'll be okay, right?
I'll take things you don't hear every day for 500.
Bring the turkey to the bash. It'll be a hit.
It seems as though every time I'm on a Zoom call with Dent and Lewis, I have a turkey problem where I have to pick up a turkey from the hospital. That's exactly what happened. So my turkey has to stay inside and he's being loud. I'm so embarrassed. I'm so sorry.
It's amazing. I love it.
I got a 19-year-old dog crying in the background that I'll get to in a minute, but you trumped me. We're good.
Hey man, that 19-year-old dog though, you know, when a dog's 19, dude, you almost got to take care of him when he needs to be taken care of. And I'm not mad about that at all.
No. I'm sorry. I keep like hitting mute because I'm like, oh my God.
It's all right.
I'm so sorry, Brandon. Well, but that's one of the things though, is that, you know, you said that you walked away with $38. And that sucks. But it's also how probably most people are feeling. Like, not everybody's doing well financially. So to have it just at that 80 and know that you can go and have fun, have an amazing time. You know, you said you're doing hot dogs and hamburgers for everybody too. So you're taking care of them that way. You can really tell just in the few minutes of me talking to you that you're so passionate about this, and that's rad. And so thanks for doing it. You know, I mean, it's awesome, and it's coming from a really good place, a really pure place. And people who have been struggling all year long would love to go to a music festival, but might think, okay, that's going to be a lot of money, and I don't know if we can really do it. Keeping it there and knowing, like, straight out the gate, that's all inclusive. That's amazing. So good on you for doing it and sacrificing how you've had to just to make it happen again.
No, I appreciate that. And, you know, that's what people are, you know, it's, we say it, but it's really not about putting money. Any money we do make, we roll right back into it. You know, I say it's the best hobby I could ever have, because it is a lot of time. It's a lot of phone calls. It's a lot of emails. It's a lot of going to check out bands because you want to make sure, you know, but yeah, I mean, $80 out the door, and, you know, it covers everything. And we, you know, our main hope is to break even. And last year, actually, during COVID, was the first year we ever broke even. So, wow. And that's pretty cool. Yeah. So.
That's way.
Yeah.
When do you planning for this? Like, I imagine probably the year before start planning.
So we throw the bash the weekend after the 4th of July, and then I usually tell the guys that, and my wife, I'm like, I don't want to talk about it for like 6 months. And then in September, a band will call, or my brother will call, or my wife will say something, and I'll be like, man, I got to get on that already. And next thing you know, it's September, October, and you're doing this, and you're lining up sponsorships, and I mean, it's pretty cool, because now we do the sponsorships, and we have our own. We got a merch guy, Fresh Prince, out of North Vernon, Indiana, who approached us and wanted to make just basic merch for us. And so it is a year. There really isn't any, as much as I want to take time off, it hasn't stopped. And, you know, since it got big, which was really, or started getting big, which was 2017. So it's pretty much been nonstop for 4 years. So, and like I said, I made $330 in the last 4 years because I sold t-shirts. So.
Each little step matters, right? So
yeah.
Good job. Progress.
I appreciate it.
I gotta know, on your biggest year, how much beer did you have to bring in for everybody?
How much hand sanitizer?
Yeah, man, that hand sanitizer smelled awful. You know, the beer we get a pretty cool deal. I think 2019, we had 400. I think we sold 450 tickets in 2019. So 2020 was supposed to be the big takeoff year. Like, okay, you know, we just threw a party for 500 people. We want to go to the next level. And then, of course, COVID hit and all that. I'm pretty sure in 2019, I think we went through 25 kegs of beer for 500 people. Wow. So, because you're giving it away. So, you know, you can pour one and a guy will drink half of it and then set it down or pour it out or throw it in the trash can. And then, you know, 10 minutes later, you're like, man, I threw my beer away. And then I'll have to go grab it. So, I mean, when you're giving it away, it's not, you know, and then last year, I think even with COVID, we still went through 9 or 10 kegs with 250 people. So, wow. And yeah, so Bud Light, you know, they jumped on board in actually it was last year, they jumped on board before COVID hit, and they still, you know, I called the guy in May and I'm like, hey man, we're going to do this unless, you know, the state is completely shut down, and they stayed on with us and they helped us out. And like I said, nobody got sick. I'm very, you know, we did it the right way. And that was very important, that if we were going to do it during COVID, we were going to do it the right way. And since COVID, even with the vaccinations and all that still around, we're still going to do it the right way. And we are, you know, we're going to sell more tickets as we can, but we have a lot of land, and you can put your tent 25 feet away from everybody there and still be able to hear the music. You know, will you be able to get the beer and the food if you don't want to be around people? That might be a little tougher, but you're more welcome to pack a cooler, throw a tent out, stay away from everybody, not talk to anybody, enjoy the music, and cook your own food and, you know, drink your own beer, which I know that takes away from the ticket, but you can do it. And, you know, you can do it. And and still enjoy live music without feeling like you're, getting inside that bubble, so to speak. So that's pretty cool.
I feel you. For 2020 supposed to be in the takeoff year. I went back into my office for the first time. God, I guess it was probably a month or so ago. And in my office, I had this giant whiteboard on my wall, and on it was still listed all the shows from last March that were started in March and were stretched through October of last year. And I had all of it, like the dates and everything we were doing. And I stared at that board for probably 10 minutes. Like, God, I just want to cry.
Just right.
Could have been.
Just shedding the tears,
Yeah. Like, damn,
Right, 'cause, I mean, you guys were going to set up, every show that came through the state. I mean, yeah, that's tough, man.
I felt so bad for people because we gave away so many concert tickets, and then people were like, well, what do we get? I'm like, well, you don't understand. There's nothing to give you. The show's done.
Right. Yeah. You want a t-shirt and a beer koozie? I mean, I don't know what to tell you. So that's the best we can do.
Disturbed to still be coming to town. Unfortunately, they're not. There's nothing I can do about it.
I mean, dude, that's a tough spot to be in. Like, we did have people last year that, there was some people that reached out last year about refunds, and we've always said, if the bash happens, we don't give refunds. So unless it's an act of God, or we just pull the plug. But if the show happens, we don't give refunds. And there were people that reached out last year because of COVID. We told them, hey, we will honor your tickets for 2021. So there was a handful, less than 20 people that we've circled back around to this year and told them, hey, your tickets are good for 2021. So we tried to take care of them for the fact that they just didn't feel comfortable coming, and they were all cool with it, and it worked out, and they're coming this year, and it's going to be a party, man. It's going to be fun, live music, independent bands that work so hard to play and to get across the country. And it's going to be a good time, man. I'm every year I'm excited for it, but this year I'm really excited for it this year because it's going to be awesome. So
I think so many people are going to feel that same way too, that, of course, I mean, it's a great thing to have to look forward to after this such a long time of not having any kind of live music. So it sounds awesome. And I just love where you're coming from with it all. Like I said, you're super passionate about it. It's easy to feel. And I know that it's going to be an awesome time.
I appreciate that. It is going to be awesome. So, and you can go to our website. We're at summerbashindiana.com. It's got all the bands listed, all the sponsors listed, everything that comes with the ticket. And there's only one rule at Summer Bash. It's our main rule, and you might have to bleep it out, but the number one rule at Summer Bash is don't be a dick. So that's it. That's it. So if you're coming and your brother, you want to bring your brother, but your brother's a dick, leave your brother at home, because that's the only rule of Summer Bash. Don't be a dick. And it says it right on our website, right when you go to buy tickets, before you hit the click ticket button, right above it, it's right there in print. So in 8 years, man, we've never had a problem. We've never had a fight. We've never had to kick anybody out. We've never had any issues. Everybody comes and just leaves all the crap at the door, all the politics at the door, leave all your, we accept everyone and we have a great time, and it's one giant family, and, we just don't have any issues, and we're going to keep it that way. And that's probably my favorite part of the bash. So
awesome. Well,
that's awesome.
Some rules for concerts should also echo into real life. So there's nothing wrong with it.
I was just going to say, that's like the golden rule, just a little bit different, right?
It's the way I say it. I mean, that's the way we figured it. So there's no other way to say it. Like, I mean, that's the rule. Just don't be don't be one. The rule is don't be one, don't bring one.
Nice. Well, dude, thank you for giving us the insight of what's going on here. Obviously love the fact that you're doing it. I'll echo Lindsay's thoughts on that. And, Dent's on every morning and we're all on every day. So feel free to share updates on the socials and whatnot and keep us informed. I mean, it's hard to believe that it's really not that far away, as we're already into mid-April. So
it's getting close.
Yeah.
We're ready though. It's going to be fun, man. We got all the bands locked in. The bands are excited to come play for live fans again. You're going to see some special music on this weekend, dude, because these guys are all chomping at the bit to play for live fans, and we're going to make it happen. And we're going to make it happen right here in Central Indiana. So it's going to be awesome. So
Very cool, man.
I appreciate you guys and your time, and thanks for everything. I do appreciate it.
We
Awesome, man.
appreciate really nice to talk to you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Brandon.
Awesome, man. Looking forward to a good show.
Thank you.